Hello everybody, welcome back to Feldy, Farmer Yip's wonderful map for Farm Sim 11. We're in the middle of making hay. I think I'm going to turn this guy loose. We replaced his ropes, so he should be able to crank out a few more bales. You know, I gotta say I'm fairly pleased with his progress. He isn't skipping too much. I think there's a little cleanup, we're going to end up having to do, and okay, well, maybe a lot of cleanup. It just isn't the same for him to turn around as it is for the windrower that we had up in here creating this. And I still have a ton to be learning about course play. I was looking at some of the options, and it turns out there is a course generate. So, I've forgotten so much. I'm going to be kind of like my grandfather who said he had forgotten more than I would ever know. And maybe I'm starting to get to that age too, where I'm just forgetting how to do things in some of these older versions. Yeah, there was our windrower working away down there in the red clover. Alright, we're going to take this fella, and I think there's a few bales to grab. I don't know if there's any lurking down and under these trees. Hopefully it hasn't kicked any down there. Try to tidy these up so they stay out of his way. And he's going to be done before too long, and then it'll be just the little bits kind of left. Oh, there he is. He's already kind of at the end. So why don't we, he did a pretty good job kind of on this side of the hill and kind of on the lower side. Well, and he ended up picking up quite a few of it as he headed on down, so not a bad job all around. Gotta say, I'm fairly impressed with how he did. So he's at the end. Alright, drive, stop, let's reset, throw it out. Wonder why the stop sign is still there. Anyway, just a few little parts to pick up. And you know what? They gotta do this in real life too. I don't know that any baler's ever perfect, particularly if you're picking up crumbly straw kind of out of the field. I know I've seen in the grassy fields kind of where I live that a lot of times they go through with the baler, they pick up what they can, or windrow it, and there's always just these little parts that are left, and someone needs to come in later and clean up those last little bits, if there's enough there to make it worthwhile, or they bring out the mowers and they pulverize it into oblivion. Alright, so this isn't too bad. We can clean up the last of our little giblets here, as I call them, and we will get this on down. Alright, it cranked out one more bale. That's kind of handy. Still not as many as I would have liked, but what are you gonna do? Farmers are always complaining about how they don't have as much as they hoped for. I wonder... I did say to reset. It's just showing all that, so, well, I'll trust that we don't have it loaded in here. Take this on down the way. And after noticing the little button there to press to generate a course, I'm kind of curious how well that works. And it's going to be a little bit, I think, before we need that again. Maybe we could do that in here if we... I think basically it needs to detect the field, or it needs to detect the border of the field. So maybe in an open meadow where there aren't field definitions, we could have taken around the outer edge and develop the course kind of from there. So I'm going to just kind of park this guy right over here as we wait a little bit on our trusty windrower who's cutting her all down. He's going to be going for a little while. We're reducing that field down. Let's hop over. Oops. Oh, maybe I could do this. Where's my other Rava? Is it 3? There we go. Hey, I wonder why that works sometimes, but not all the time. That's kind of handy when the quick switcher takes you where you want to go. And how about that? That'll take care of... I don't think we got any more bales. So let me see here. I guess it's kind of hard to count. That's 12 right there, 13, 14, 15. I'd have to literally take them all out to see how many bales. You know, substantively, maybe we didn't get that many more bales than we had it here last time. And it could be that grass just doesn't cough up that many bales. Or hay for that matter. And you know I could take these bales and put them in here and shoot them up kind of over there for bedding. But I think I'm going to hold off on that. I think I'm still, you can call me a greedy capitalist if you want, but I think we need the money still. I want to be able to afford a forage wagon, and I think I need to just keep pushing on making money until we get that. Everything that we need. Yeah, there's our bank. 31 in the hole, but at least we have a few coins jiggling in our pocket. Alright, we'll let it sit there. And let me see if I can go to the foragers. That's 6. Hey, I like how this is working. What in the world? Oh, I know what it was. I never did turn that off. Alright, we're gonna have a brief pause. False. Be right back. Okay, folks, welcome back here. It seems like whenever I take a thumbnail picture with these videos, you know, I try to clear the screen off, you know, so there's no HUD or anything on there. And then when I come back, it leaves this pesky HUD right kind of in the middle up here. I have no idea why. Doesn't do anything that I can think of, but it still puts it there nonetheless. Alright, we're going to go get some food stuff, so we're going to unfold this. I know I need to do that kind of on the front. Let me see. What is it that makes it go up? That's raise and lower. Turn on cutter. Help! How do I get this to go... Oh, maybe it's B. There we go. I want my arm to go up. You know, I still haven't figured out how to get it to turn with the trailer. You know, it just stays stock still, and so in other words, like right now, it'd be blowing it out of the wagon. So I need to make sure that when I come and pick up our material that we're lined up. And I wish I knew how to get it to turn. I'm pretty sure the ones in game. All right, there. Let's lower the ad. Let's turn this puppy on. I think we are going to be able to pick it up. Here comes feed stuff. Yeah, see, it's going to end up throwing some of it out of the wagon. Now, I wish that wasn't the case, but I don't know of a way to fix that. I mean, I've been working on it, but it, yeah, just doesn't seem to want to cooperate and turn. You know, what you try to do with a mod like that is always try to set it up the way the Giants have theirs set up. But when you mirror how the Giants have theirs and it still doesn't work, and then you kind of gives you pause and you go, well, what's wrong with this thing? And I guess we're throwing a little bit over there. Always some waste. And this grass stuff, well, you know, we skipped over this last time. There must be a little divot there that we can't pick up that little bit. Oh, now it's covered. There's a little bit of grass out here. It isn't going to pick that up. Of course, in real life, it would have picked all of that up. But I think right now it's focused on feed stuff. Like I say, I'm just throwing some out the trailer. Bugs me, but I can't really do anything about it. At least this is kind of a long, skinny field, so it lets you pick up most of it. Try to make tiny adjustments to steering to try to straighten it out as much as you can. The only other alternative is to turn it on and off and continually change the angles at which you come at the field. Like this corner here, you can just barely maybe get it in the trailer. This one up here is a little harsher turn. I'm probably going to be throwing some over. Yeah, there's some that's going to go out. Ah, that bugs me. I'm sure I'm not the only one that this bugs, you know. Even if this game, I mean, you always have plenty, you end up making plenty of money, it's still, I don't know, it just bugs me when there's some waste. Now, what the world happened here? This is kind of curious. How it did the windrows, that's really weird. It's like it couldn't figure out how to turn the corner, so it just did something screwball. Oops, I didn't intend to do that. So let me try to line this up. This is where it's kind of a pain in the patoodle, turning the corner. There's got to be a way to do this. You know, to where the ad'll turn, I just need to figure out where to tickle it on the mod. Yeah, see, I was kind of anticipating that our windrower would hop into this field over here. I'm glad to see that he didn't. And that's kind of nice. I bet he was tempted to, but it's probably, you know, it probably requires it to be dead ahead in order for him to be tempted to leave the field and go over there, and it just wasn't. That's a field of barley. I bet he would have, if this would have been red clover over here, he probably would have ventured off. That's what I would anticipate anyways. Try to turn this puppy around. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting a full trailer by the time we get through. Oops, hey, I thought I turned you on. There we go. And actually, we need a fair amount of feed stuff, you know, as we prepare to have cattle. I think a portion of their hay requires feed stuff, whereas, let's see, feed stuff and barley, and I think for the hogs, it takes feed stuff and a root crop, I recall. I think sugar beets. So we're going to end up eating it over there too, so it's good that I'm harvesting this, even with some of the frustrations, you know, posed by losing some of this as it throws it over the edge. But that's all right. I have a feeling I'm going to need to do a lot of this off cam, so I just don't know how exciting people see something like this. I think it's pretty exciting. I am still just having a wonderful time on this map. And you know, I'd be curious. It is posted online. I'm pretty sure in my video description I have a link to where you can download it on Mod Hoster. Have any of you downloaded it and given it a try? I seem to recall there's maybe been a couple folks that have mentioned they've done just that. But I'd be curious, those of you that are interested in some of these vintage games, have you found it and given it a try? And if you have, Would be really curious your playing style on it and how you're doing it. Maybe some people got into animals quicker. Maybe y'all are taking better care of the hedge than what I'm doing. Oops, why do I keep hitting that? You know, the first time that I cut this, something tells me, oh, I skipped a patch there. Something tells me that I was able to fill this thing in a single round. And so now I'm wondering, is there not as much material if maybe I didn't wait long enough before cutting it again? You know? That's where I got to get lined up in order to get it to land properly. Ever since I fixed the camera, I could spend a little more time. Oh, that's just too stuttery. I know it's putting it in the trailer. Yeah, but as we go around the edge, come on, get in the trailer. And it's getting most of it. Yeah, but then you just get at this wrong angle and it's not gonna cooperate. We are almost full, and I gotta watch it because there we go. Once we're full, I think last time I just used one of my tractors to haul it because it goes a little quicker. Oops. There. We'll drop that. And this time, I think I'm going to take it to cattle feed first. Let me see if I can go to... This is the one on the baler. We're going to drop our baler, folks, and head out into the field and go get this trailer. And I'm going to haul it down to the feed mixer over here, the feed grinder, whatever you call that unit, where we can dump it off there and start cranking animal... Well, we're going to need biofuel. All is contingent on biofuel and getting it to run. And we're hoping to make a boatload of it, but as we can see with all the fields here about, they're just not ready for harvest. So I'm very much anticipating the upcoming harvest, and this time around we'll have the force of fertilizer behind it, so we'll hopefully do a whole lot better on things like yields and whatnot, and hopefully we'll have quite a bit more material to work with. That's the part of farming that's cool, or it's an appeal to me, is the idea of plenty and so much coming from so little. How you plant a seed and it will multiply itself hundreds of times sometimes with the seed you put in the ground, and it's just kind of a cool phenomenon on this planet Earth. I've never put feed stuff in here, but I'm pretty sure one of these takes it. Let me see here. Oh yeah, both. What am I thinking? Both take it. Now I know I've put some, I don't think I've put any in on the hogs. Well, let me just check my... I think I just blew past it. Alright, it's in this one here. Chicken. Cattle feed mill. Alright, the cattle feed mill has nothing. The pig feed mill has... Oh wow, it does have a little bit of feed stuff. Look, or biofuel. Apparently, we dumped off a trailer of biofuel. So this one here, we are going to start manufacturing pig feed. Well, now I'm wondering what exactly I may need to haul it. Oh yeah, she'd be working. We're going to start putting a dent in the massive amount of sugar beets that we put in here. Okay, yeah, it's the cattle feed that I guess we can't do. And let's look in here. Yip had a feed mixer for us, I seem to recall. There it is. feeder trailer. So what I don't know is if I could just put it in a standard trailer or if I need the feeder trailer, and maybe I need the feeder trailer. That's like, oh my word, 95,000. All right, so we may we got a lot of work to do to continue earning money just to get the parts that we need in order to do it. The trouble is, you know, by the time you earn the money to buy the equipment that you need, you already have all the money that you need, so therefore you don't need the animals to generate more money. That's kind of the hard part. Anyway, that's an expensive machine, but you know, put it on the list of things that we need to have some animals. We'll get this back out to the field, and our windrower guy is just going to keep going. And you know, there's actually something else. Let me see here. I can't do. Well, I maybe could put him on a course belay, but he wouldn't stop on time. Where's the forager 6? Back him up to the trailer. Get him ready to go. Got him all attached. And I'm going to pause here. Let me save. I always wonder if we're going to lose something. While he continues cutting, the reality is we need this whole field cut. I am going to hop out of game here briefly. There's something I want to show. This is a map, and I'm sorry I don't know German. I don't know how to say that. I think it's farming and forestry map. Really, I think we all know the Farm Sim 11. Hey. Oh, come on. What, is my screen locked? Okay, there it's let me turn. Barely. Yeah, I don't think it likes running. I don't think my laptop enjoys running the game and the editor at the same time. But this is kind of the standard Farm Sim 11 map in here. And boy, it really doesn't like it. It's not hardly letting me turn. Not responding. Well, would you tell me why? But maybe we can see it from here. Oh, I just love that little blue spinner thing. I know I've done it before, but maybe what's going on in here is there's enough detail. Someone took the standard Farm Sim 11 map, and what you'll notice is the road network is basically the same. But you'll see they've made some changes in here. Oh my, what did I click on? This is just bizarre. Anyway, I wanted to get over here. You'll see the road network is the same. You know, you remember this road that kind of twisted and turned over the hills in here and went around the map, and it, of course, was surrounded by ocean. Maybe everybody remembers the docks down here. Well, in here, they put a... Boy, I tell you what, my computer is giving me fits. There we go. We zoomed in on the forest. And you'll see these trees in here. You see some that are cut over. Farm Sim 11 was not known for forestry. That wouldn't come to the game until Farm Sim 15 officially. But I've always thought with Feldy that, you know, one of the ideas I had a long time ago back when I originally played the map was incorporating some forestry in it before I really understood or knew how this would ever be accomplished. And it's one of those ideas, you know, a person can have and you just put it on ice and you never do anything with it. Well, I seem to recall seeing this mod for Farm Sim 09 where you could literally cut down trees in the map. It would reduce them to logs similar to this. I don't know if the chainsaw mod came into Farm Sim 11. I personally have never seen it. I managed to find it for Farm Sim 09. It's kind of a cool concept. And it worked. You know, you would cut the trees down. Those trees would not be there the next time you open the map. This now is a little bit different. And I stopped kind of right by this log here. It's just a poly object, I think it's called. You can put it on there. It's called a rigid body dynamic, meaning you can move this around in game, and you'll notice it's above the ground. And I think the reason it's above the ground is when you load the map, all of these dynamic objects that can be moved around, they start in the air. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to fall to the surface of the map. And then because they're falling, they may hit something or whatever, and they will roll here and there. And it's probably the map author's way of making it a little scattered. By putting them in the trees, maybe they'll fall differently each time. But every time you load the map, these same objects are going to be roughly in the same areas. You may move them clear across the map, but the next time you load the map, they're going to reappear back kind of at the original spot. And that's kind of a problem with dynamic objects, that are embedded in a map. These trees, on the other hand, they're also rigid bodies, but you're going to find them be static objects, meaning they aren't going to move unless, of course, there's a mod to where you can get a chainsaw and cut them down. And since I haven't seen that, I don't think I'm going to attempt to do it. But it is kind of cool looking at this random map. Well, random. I looked for forestry maps, download to see. These are kind of, they're not the deciduous trees that came with a map. These appear to be more, is that a pine or a fir? That kind of thing, which is exactly the type of wood that would be used on forestry. So whoever the map author is, they put in two areas, and I've been trying to figure it out. One over here appears to be a type of mill. But I don't know that you can take these objects. You come in here, there's a trigger right here, but it's for bales, I seem to recall. There's a bale destroyer trigger. Yeah, it says bale destroyer. But outside, you see things like trusses, you see these wooden spools, you see pallets. These aren't things you would see for where you would just take bales to destroy them. But I don't think you can bring them in here and do anything with them. And matter of fact, I'm not sure you can do anything at all with them other than move them around. I noticed that they have over here, oops, I'm trying to get down there. I'm probably going to end up crashing our game with a bad allocation if I spend too much time here. But over here in the dock, you'll see more stacks of wood. And I think you can put them in here. There's all these conveyor belts. And I took it in game once, and I managed to get a log in here. It carried it off, and the log disappeared. I don't know where it went. What I do know is my log was filled with a boatload of errors. And another thing I know is they have a bale destroyer trigger in here. Oh wait, this one maybe is below the map surface. But I seem to recall there were also some bale destroyer triggers here. But I don't think the bale destroyer trigger is going to do anything, with these logs, these poly objects. They're just, yeah, you can move them, but I don't know that you can make them disappear. So if I tried to do something similar in Feldy, introducing these objects, making a place for the player to take them, I don't know if I just hop back in game here, if I get out of here for the moment and look at our map. I guess I can't point with my mouse. Clear over on the left is kind of an unused place of the map. Let me just hop back. Whoa ho ho ho. Well, I'm dumbfounded. I have no idea how that happened. I just started leaning up against the machine. Wow. And I ended up kicking. Oh, and see, I can't even hop into it. Can I go into anything? Yeah, my quick. All right, let me see if I can carefully approach. And yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyway, now I can get a mouse. I was thinking of this area over here. We know the quarry is down here. But back here, I did install a couple fields, but there would be some areas in here where we could have some timber. And I've toyed with the idea of installing some of these trees over here and making so you can go pick up logs. We would need a few more mods, where we could go handle, trees like this, if you will. But I really don't want a whole bunch of errors poking out on the log. I mean, shoot, I may have some now. Yeah, there's a trigger callback error. But I think that would add something to Feldy, and I think it would fit right in with it. I've said many times this map was ahead of its time for the things that it had in it. And so it seems like it would fit if we put something like forestry into it and created a place to haul those trees. But I want to try to do it right. And maybe, one trick I've done before, maybe I'll just try to keep talking while I go get feed stuff. When I was developing a rock spawn mod, all these rock objects, there goes the bell. I temporarily considered them or treated them as bales. And the game knows what to do with bales when it gets them, how to turn them into other things or how to turn them into money. And so the rocks could be disposed of at any given bale destroyer trigger, and that was my way of dealing with rock objects. Well, I ended up doing some other things with them, and I think I still made it so you could get rid of them at the bale destroyer trigger, but I gave them their own object type and so forth and so on. Something could be done in here in shorthand, if I called those little tree things to be bales or treated them as if they were bales. I probably could get rid of them. Oh, I hate this. Just throwing it out of the wagon. Nobody cares. La-di-da. So that's just kind of something I'm, running around the back of my mind to maybe try in here, do a little modding on the side, and I don't know where I'm going to insert something like a sawmill or that kind of thing. But it's just something fun I thought I would try to put into the map eventually. That's kind of what I'm rolling around in my mind to do. But we've already come to kind of the end of this episode. The bell went and we're past 30 minutes, so I'll just say thank you for coming along. I have quite a bit of work for myself to do here, if I can keep it in the trailer, and to get our sheep fed, to make some feed, and all sorts of things like that. So thanks for coming along, spending a little time with me here on the wonderful Feldy map. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one.